The last body hit the cold concrete floor with a dull, lifeless thud, the sound echoing through the abandoned warehouse like a final bell announcing the end of hope. 15 men lay scattered around a vast space. Some slumped against crates, others sprawled where they had fallen, their weapons useless beside them. The air smelled of gunpowder, sweat, and terror. The only sound left was uneven breathing, one pair steady and controlled, the other shaky and broken. The last remaining man collapsed to his knees as his legs finally gave up on him, his palms scraping against the rough floor as he tried to crawl backwards, eyes wide and eyes wide and glossy with disbelief. He looked up, trembling violently, and at the man who had killed them all alone. The guy walked towards him slowly, unhurried, as if this massacre was nothing more than routine. He stopped right in front of the trembling man and lowered himself onto one knee, the position mockingly calm. He casually spun the gun in his hand, the metal glinting under the dim lights above. His gaze lifted, dark, cold, and empty of mercy, and locked onto the man's face. It wasn't anger in his eyes, it was something far worse, indifference. The kind that told you your life meant nothing. His knuckles were torn and bruised, dried blood staining the bandages wrapped tightly around his hands. The white fabric had darkened, worn out from impact after impact. His face bore the history of countless fights, swollen areas shaded with blue and purple, old bruises layered over new ones, marks lining his cheekbones, the corner of his lips split and raw, shadows under his eyes making him look almost inhuman. He looked like someone who had long stopped caring about pain. He tilted his head slightly, studying the man in front of him like a predator, deciding whether its prey was even worth finishing. "Where is Simon?" he asked. His voice was low, dead dark, stripped of emotions, each word sinking heavily into the air. The man felt his chest tighten instantly, fear clawing up his throat. "I don't know," the man stammered, his voice shaking uncontrollably. "I swear I don't know." The guy's jaw clenched, muscle ticking near his temple. Without another word, he pulled back his fist and punched the man hard across the face. The impact snapped the man's head to the side, pain exploding across his cheek as he cried out, collapsing further onto the floor. "Where?" the guy repeated slowly as he leaned closer, his voice dropping even lower. "Is Simon?" "Trust me," the man sobbed, blood trickling from his lips as he shook his head frantically. "I don't know where he is right now, I swear on my life." The guy hummed softly, as if considering his words. He rested his elbow on his knee, gun still dangling loosely from his fingers. He murmured. "So you're not going to tell me, right?" The man shook his head desperately, tears blurring his vision. "Okay," the guy continued calmly, a faint smirk tugging at his bruised lips. "Then let's make a deal." He leaned forward slightly. "You give me his address and I spare your life." He paused deliberately. "So, tell me, where is he?" The man swallowed hard, panic tightening his chest. "I don't know," he whispered brokenly. But I know where his brother is." The guy's eyes flickered with interest. "Mike." The man rushed out. "He's at Carol's hotel every day at this time. He visits there regularly. You will find him there." A slow, satisfied smirk spread across the guy's face. He straightened slightly, nodding to himself. Good," he said softly. "If I can catch Mike, his brother Simon will crawl out of his hole easily." He looked back at the man. Thanks. Relief washed over the man's face, his shoulders sagging as he let out a shaky breath. "So you will let me go, right?" he asked hesitantly. "You said you would spare me." The guy's smirk deepened, but there was no warmth in it. "When you guys don't give chances," he replied casually, rising in his feet. "Why should I?" The man's eyes widened in horror. "What? Please, please don't." Before he could finish, the guy bent down, picked up a large, shard of shattered glass from the floor, its edges jagged and sharp. Without hesitation, without anger, without mercy, he drove it into the man's neck in one swift motion. The bleeding cut off instantly. The man collapsed lifeless, eyes frozen in terror. The guy straightened slowly, breathing out a quiet groan as he glanced down at his palm where the glass had nicked him, fresh pain blooming beneath the torn bandages. He flexed his fingers, staring at the bruise for a brief second. He murmured, shrugging it off like it was nothing. He turned and walked away, his footsteps echoing through the warehouse as he disappeared into the shadows. Already thinking about Carol's hotel, already thinking about Mike, and already planning how Simon's nightmare was only just beginning.